Sunday Report with Trevor Ombija.
In the next 48 hours, 181 candidates cleared by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission will face off in by-elections across 24 electoral areas around the country. The mini-polls scheduled for Thursday, the 27th of November 2025. Now, the curtains came down on the campaigns today in all the electoral areas in a by-election that is billed a litmus test for the government and the opposition alike. Tonight, we begin our extensive coverage of the by-elections 2025. These are the areas that will go to the polls, plus the number of candidates cleared. In Baringo, the Senate, 6 candidates. In Magarini, Member of National Assembly, 10 candidates have been cleared. Banissa, 2 candidates. Mbeere North, 9 candidates. Ugunja in Siaya, 10 candidates, and Kasipul, Member of National Assembly, 10 candidates as well, and Malava, which is in Kakamega, 9 candidates. All the 24 electoral areas will go to the polls on Thursday, the 27th. Now, my name is Trevor Ombija in the command center, and in Baringo we have Emmanuel To in Mbeere North, Gatete Njoroge is in Kasipul, Loro Tieno is in Ugunja, Francis Talaki in Magarini, and Melita Oletenges is in Malava, and Emmanuel Ndungu is at the headquarters with me here with the sporting action, and he's joining me in just a short while. We'll cross over to all the members of our team covering the by-elections, but Emmanuel is also covering the sports. What's going on in the sporting action, man?
Yeah, plenty to get into. There's some continental cycling and some success in the Tokyo Deaf Olympics as well. We'll have more about that a little bit later on.
Brilliant. Our top stories tonight.
Another day of election unrest. DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua engulfed in tear gas and stomped by a heavy police blockade while campaigning for his party's ward candidate in Narok. From Mbeere to Kasipul and Malava, candidates in a last-minute blitz as the official campaign period approaches the end.
If we meddle with these by-elections, IBC will lose credibility ya kwamba wananchi wanaweza amini hao kusimamia uchaguzi mkuu.
Don't dare rig Magarini elections. Gachagua accuses IBC vice chair of bribery talks and demands a total shake-up of presiding officers ahead of Thursday's poll. Setback for government and temporary relief for Makongeni residents as High Court suspends demolitions and eviction.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Njoki Shege. Now, violence continued to mar the ongoing by-election campaigns as former Deputy President and DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua was tear-gassed by police and attacked by armed youth during a rally in Narok County. Police erected barricades to block his entry into Narok town while goons repeatedly disrupted his speech. Gachagua condemned the incident, describing the chaos as barbaric. Willie Lusige has more.
The journey of DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua to Narok County to campaign for Douglas Masikonde, the DCP candidate for Narok Town Ward, faced heavy resistance and blockades. From Narok Bomet Road near Al-Mashariani, Gachagua encountered police roadblocks that tried to prevent him from reaching Narok Town. He tried to push through. He was met with tear gas on all sides. Even after taking alternative routes to Narok, he faced more police and tear gas alongside thugs armed with stones.
Hii serikali ya Kasongo inaogopa mimi Rigiji. Inaniogopa zaidi. Ati polisi zaidi ya 1000. Ati polisi wanaweka roadblock nisingie Narok. Nimefika sijafika. Nimefika sijafika. Kujeni wananchi.
Speeches were repeatedly interrupted as his supporters clashed with youth throwing stones, while police fired tear gas to disperse the crowds. Gachagua accused his political rivals, led by President William Ruto and Governor Patrick Ole Ntutu, of trying to coerce Narok residents to vote for their candidate.
Si mnapigia Maskonde. Bona wewe Ole Ntutu na Kasongo mnataka kulazimisha watu ya Narok ati wapigie mtu yenu kura. Kwani kura itapigwa na nguvu? Harambee!
He said the tactics are a clear sign of desperation and an acknowledgement of impending loss.
Ya fujo, ya kupiga watu mawe, ni siasa ambayo imepitwa na wakati. Si ndio? Sisi tutauziwa waka kweli? Hata mkitupa mawe, kura ya watu ya Narok mtafanyia nini? Si kura muko naye? Si mtapigia Maskonde?
Willy Lusige, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Now, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki is accusing the opposition brigade led by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua of plotting to disrupt and cause violence during the November 27th by-elections. Speaking on the final day of campaigns in Mbeere North constituency, Embu County, DP Kindiki rallied support for UDA's Leonard Muriuki wa Muthende as the campaign period came to an end. As Emmanuel Toh now reports, other candidates in Mbeere North opted for a quieter approach, engaging in door-to-door campaigns as they made their last pitch to the voters.
The high-stakes campaigns in Mbeere North constituency in Embu County came to a nervy ending Monday. Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki leading the charge in making the last submissions for the UDA candidate Leonard Muriuki wa Muthende. In Karerema and Gitiburi areas. It is here where DP Kindiki trained his guns on his predecessor, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, accusing him of orchestrating a plot to cause mayhem and violence during the Thursday 27th by-elections.
Siku ya Alhamisi, kura itapigwa kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni na itapigwa na njia ya amani. Nataka niwahakikishie kwamba serikali ya Kenya haitakubali mtu yeyote kutumia silaha butu, kutumia vitisho na vita ati kulazimisha watu wasiende kupiga kura ati kwa sababu mtu ule ambaye anaunga mkono anaonekana hawezi shinda.
Kindiki firing a warning shot at Gachagua and the opposition team, saying they had panicked after sensing defeat.
Kura ni mashindano ya akili, sio mashindano ya lazima na kifua na vita. Na kwa sababu huyu wa Muthende anaenda kuwa mbunge wetu Thursday, mimi nakusii ndugu yangu, mimi kama ndugu yako mkubwa nakusii ufanye kazi na watu wote.
Wa Muthende, who is the UDA candidate in the Thursday mini polls, promised to leverage on his expertise to turn around the education sector in Mbeere North, calling on the voters to back his bid.
Alikuwa PA wa Roko, ametolewa kwa kanisa ndani, akavunjwa hata mguu, leo anapelekwa theater. Wa Munyoro ametuletea vita, watu wa Mbeere, watu wa Ivurori wameniambia nikuachie Mungu wewe. Na mimi nakuachia Mungu atadili na wewe.
Wewe Ligiji, wewe umekuwa unasema kila siku ati wewe ndio kingpin wa mlima. Ile siku tutaonana na wewe ni Alhamisi wiki ndio tutamzambua kingpin wa mlima ni nani.
The other candidates cleared by the IEBC, including Democratic Party's Newton Karaoke alias Karish, who is backed by the United Opposition outfit, opted for a quieter approach, conducting silent house-to-house campaigns and keeping the activities largely under the radar throughout the day. Karish, alongside 7 other candidates, is seeking to fill the parliamentary seat left vacant after Geoffrey Ruku's appointment to the cabinet. The IBC team is set to begin preparations for the by-elections on Tuesday, starting with a security meeting with all candidates. It has been a do-or-die contest between the government battalion and the opposition brigade, with the campaigns ending with a roaring crescendo. Focus now shifts to Thursday as the over 55,000 registered voters in Mbeere North constituency head to the polls to elect their new Member of Parliament. Emmanuel Toh, Citizen TV, Gitiburi, Mbeere North constituency, Embu County.
In Malava, the candidates made their submission to the electorate on the final day of campaigns ahead of Thursday polls. Both opposition and government leaders staged parallel rallies across Malava, making their last push for their preferred candidates. Melito Letenges is in Malava and filed the following report.
The final day for the campaigns for the Malava constituency by-election. After 2 months of crisscrossing the constituency in a heated campaign trail, both government and opposition camps made a last-minute dash to sell their agendas, each side pulling voters their way.
Na mapema ndani ya na kiongozi wao ni David Ndakwa. Hebu tuseme Ndakwa. Hebu tuseme hivyo.
Kura ya serikali inaenda kwa nani? Ndio Ndakwa amalize ile miradi Mheshimiwa Malulu Injendi alikuwa ameanza. Lakini wale wengine wakija hapa ni mdomo tu, makelele.
The opposition brigade campaigning in Malichi and Mache alleged a plot to rig the vote, demanding that IEBC ensures a free and fair process.
The new chairman wa IEBC kwamba hii ni test case, kuhakikisha kwamba unafanya kura vizuri ili tukue na confidence na faith kwako kwamba ikifika 2027 utaangalia kura vizuri ama namna gani.
Mheshimiwa Mudavadi miaka 40 waziri, na kama hii miaka yote 70 hamjaai tuonyesha mtoto ambaye anaitwa maendeleo. Wapigaji kura wa Luhya hawana makosa kujaribu bibi mwingine mwenye anaweza za maendeleo.
The Malava by-election has emerged as a fierce battleground for political supremacy between government and opposition camps. Two front-runners, Seth Panyako of DAPK and David Ndakwa of UDA, lead the race among 7 remaining contestants. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
In Kasipul constituency in Homa Bay County, the 10 candidates traversed all corners of the constituency in a last-minute rush to convince the electorate to back their bid. As they combed the constituency, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that is the IEBC officials, were also busy with preparations ahead of November 27th polls. Gatete Njoroge is in Kasipul and tells us more.
The final day of the campaigns in Kasipul was dotted with different colors. 10 candidates battling for the Kasipul parliamentary seat were all out to convince residents to support their bid. ODM brigades led by their chairperson Gladys Wanga traversed Oyugis and Obisa in a show of support for ODM candidate Boyd Were. Were, the son of the slain former MP Charles Ongondo Were, is keen to clinch the seat previously held by his father.
And we want to tell our security agencies from Obisa, as we make this Obisa declaration, that will get Boyd Were elected as the next member of parliament for Kasipul. Let us tell our security agencies, you have a big responsibility to maintain peace in Kasipul, to maintain law and order, and to ensure the security of every single resident of Kasipul.
We do not accept to carry the burden of violence in Kasipul, as regrettable as it is. And we pray that Boyd Were will be that leader who will bring together everybody.
In Oyugis town, independent candidate Philip Aroko was all out to prove he is the man for the job, bringing the town to a standstill. Aroko promised to address the concerns of the people in the National Assembly and work with the national government to bring development.
I want to be an MP who performs, who gives people what they deserve. I want to make life good for them, good life. So good life means they need to have water, they need to have electricity, they need to have good roads, they need to have good health.
Another independent candidate, Robert Mani Bior, took his final campaigns to Nyangiela before finishing it off in Oyugis town.
Tarehe 27 mujitokeleze kwa wengi wenu wote mupigie Mani Bior kura.
Peace is one of my main agenda, because you know, even if I have very good manifestos and there's no peace, implementing them will be just like a dream. So peace is one of the top most priority for me if I'm elected. I'll make sure peace first, and then I talk of my manifestos.
As politicians were out for the final call, IEBC officials were busy training clerks and arranging election materials at Agoro Sare High School, the constituency tallying center.
As the by-election campaigns comes to a close here in Kasipul, all eyes are now on the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission ahead of Thursday's election, where residents will come out and vote for their next member of parliament. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Kasipul, Homa Bay County.
Now, by-election campaigns also came to a close in Baringo County as candidates made their final lap to convince voters to elect them in the Thursday by-election. Stephen Leto is in Baringo and filed the following report.
It was a busy day in Baringo County as candidates in the upcoming by-election crisscrossed various towns for their final submission. UDA candidate Vincent Chemitei was accompanied by party bigwigs as well as Gender Cabinet Secretary Hannah Cheptumo, the widow of the late Senator William Cheptumo.
Kwa heshima ya Daniel Tumo na kwa heshima ya Mheshimiwa Rais. Tuko pamoja namna hiyo. Buko hapo.
The campaign caravan also made a stopover in Mogotio, Marigat and Kabartonjo.
Tukauliza seneta atakuwa nani? Pale Tarongo nikaomba nikasema siku ikifika tafadhali mupatie seneta wa UDA. Ndio mahali kuzee alienda akiona naona yeye anafurahi sana. Na pia mimi nikafurahi.
Sisi tumetoka kule Ndamarabi na wamesema wana confirm. Huko wanapiga kura 90%. Na nyinyi mgoto mnasema namna gani? Hebu nikisema Harambee Chemitei tosha. Na ifikie kule mpaka Nairobi. Harambee! Harambee!
Mimi mwenyewe niko chama gani? Sasa mimi nataka tuweke suit yote kwa kupigia Chemitei akuwe seneta wetu wa Baringo.
David Kipruto of Republican Liberty Party, Benjamin Chebon of the New Democrat Party, Shadrack Kiplawat of Alliance for Real Change Party, Samuel Letasho of Kenya Moja Movement, and Daniel Kipchirchir of Umoja na Maendeleo Party all made their final laps in various constituencies in the vast Baringo County. It's all systems go for the Baringo senatorial by-election as 6 candidates set to face off in a by-election that is scheduled for Thursday with over 281,000 registered voters in Baringo set to take part in 6 constituencies: Tiati, Eldama Ravine, Baringo Central, Baringo North, Baringo South and Mogotio constituencies. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV, Kabarnet Town, Baringo County.
Now, the curtains have come down on the Magarini parliamentary campaigns 2 days before voters go to the polls to elect their member of parliament after the Supreme Court nullified Harrison Kombe's 2022 win. DCP candidate Stanley Karisa Kenga, with a host of leaders, concluded their campaigns in Mgomeni, Mjanaheri and Marereni as ODM leaders spent the last day strategizing on how to recapture that same seat. Francis Mtalaki has more from Magarini.
It is down to the wire for the 10 candidates racing to capture the Magarini parliamentary seat. Democracy for the Citizens Party, DCP, and allies led campaigns in Gomeni, Mjanaheri and Marereni drumming support for their candidate Stanley Karisa Kenga. Led by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka and Nyali Member of Parliament Mohamed Ali, the leaders urged voters to turn up in large numbers and elect their Member of Parliament after the Supreme Court nullified Harrison Kombe's win in the August 2022 election.
Kwamba Alhamisi tutaamka asubuhi na mapema ili twende tuchague kiongozi bora na si mwingine ni Stanley Karisa Kenga. Ili anapoingia kuongoza yale mengi ambayo tumeyakosa kutoka kwa wale viongozi wengine waliotutangulia, tuhakikishe kwamba tutaweza kuyapata kwa huu muda ambao umesalia. Kwa hivyo mimi naomba mshike mkono tafadhali. Msiwaachilie. Siku ya kupiga kura, tokeni wadogo kwa wakubwa. Hata kama kuna mgonjwa nyumbani, bebeni.
Naona ukombozi wa pwani nzima umekamilika. Kama mtaendelea mchague kijana Kenga, washikane na Moha. Na mimi niwashikilie kule. Hamtalia tena.
ODM top leadership spent the day strategizing and planning ahead of the Thursday by-election. Deputy Party Leader Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir and Kilifi Governor Gideon Mungaro have exuded confidence of winning in the upcoming by-election, saying they have done sufficient groundwork in the area. For Harrison Kombe,
tuna imani ya ushindi na lile ambalo kwamba tunataka kulitarajia sasa hivi ni kile kiwango tutakaoacha wale wapinzani wetu, sio masala ya kushinda. Hiyo tayari tuko nao imani.
We are peaceful in Magarini. We will continue to be peaceful in this election. We have no other plan than winning this election because we have campaigned, I have traversed this place, I have campaigned, and the people of Magarini have confidence.
Over 80,000 registered voters across the 193 polling stations are expected to participate in the upcoming by-election come Thursday. Francis Mtalaki, Citizen TV, Magarini, Kilifi County.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has assured all parties of a credible and transparent process in the forthcoming by-elections amid allegations of interference by DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua. Gachagua criticized what he described as attempts by the IEBC to influence the Magarini constituency by-election in Kilifi County. As the campaign window draws to a close, calls for fair and transparent elections continue to mount, with the new IEBC team preparing to conduct its first ever ballot test. Ayub Abdikadir has more.
Business. In the three-page address, the former deputy president draws the attention of Erastus Ethekon to his vice chairperson, alleging that Fahima Arafat Abdallah assumed the role of managing Magarini by-election, elbowing out Dr. Alutalala Mukhwana, who he said was assigned to the coast region. Gachagua claims Fahima held meetings with Kilifi County Governor in a local hotel, where she allegedly exchanged the list and names of all presiding officers, further alleging that during the meeting, all the officers were instructed to work with Governor Mungaro.
If we meddle with these by-elections, IEBC will lose credibility ya kwamba wananchi wanaweza amini hao kusimamia uchaguzi mkuu. Kwa sisi tunataka tuone, so far the returning officer in Narok has been very firm. The one in Purko has been very firm. The one in Bere has been very firm. Yule wa Magarini amekuwa firm, but there is a lot of intimidation.
The DCP leader claims in the meeting, the Kilifi County Governor handed in a deposit of the agreed amount upon the handing over of the list of all officers who will preside over the election. The commission, in response to Gachagua, pointed out that all appointment of returning officers, their training and deployment, and the conduct of elections and oversight was done in accordance with the law, committing to the delivery of free and fair polls. Ethekon assuring the DCP leader that all party officials have been issued with clear instructions to act lawfully, impartially and professionally at all times. The 27th November by-elections have presented both the political establishment and the new electoral body an equal test, the mini polls bearing all the hallmarks of setting the stage for the 2027 general elections. Ayub Abdikadir, Citizen TV.
All right, we have you covered on a wall-to-wall coverage of the by-elections happening in all the 24 electoral areas around the country. More than 181 candidates cleared by the IEBC to contest in all those 24 electoral areas. Let's cross over to one of them. We have one Senate and six member of National Assembly positions. Gatete Njoroge is standing by in Kasipul with the latest there. Gatete, good evening. It's good to see you. How are the preparations so far?
Good evening, Trevor. Indeed, we are coming to you live from Agoro Sare High School. This is the tallying center for Kasipul constituency, Trevor. It is here where on Thursday evening, Trevor, a lot of activities will be happening here because the new member of parliament for Kasipul, or the next member of parliament for Kasipul, will be announced from this particular hall, Trevor, that I'm standing in. And if my cameraman can just show, these are some of the election materials that have been put here, according to the returning officer, these are non-strategic election materials. You can see their ballot boxes. We can see their solar panels, solar light that will be used by at every polling station. We understand that there are 142 polling stations in Kasipul constituency, Trevor. But I don't want to take much of our time because I'm here with the returning officer, Madam Rebecca. Just come close. Thank you very much for allowing us in here tonight. I know you have been busy with your team preparing for this particular event that is ahead of you on Thursday. Kindly start by introducing yourself and tell us where are we in terms of preparation ahead of the Thursday election.
Good evening. As you can see, we are at the our tallying center, Agoro Sare High School, and we have received all the strategic and the non-strategic material. Here with me are the non-strategic material, which we've already packed. The strategic material shall be distributed on Wednesday when the poll officials will be leaving the tallying center for the polling stations.
Thank you very much. Have you confirmed that you have received all the election materials? And we have seen concerns previously about the campaigns that were happening in Kasipul, issues to do with insecurity. Where are we in terms of the assurance that IEBC has been given by the security officers in this particular constituency that the process will take place without any hitches in terms of security?
We all know that on 6th of this month, we had some violence in the...
All right, we apologize for that slight technical hitch. We'll get back to Gatete Njoroge. They've been covering the by-elections the whole day, so we'll get back to him to give us the latest in Kasipul. We know that there are about 24 electoral areas, 1 Senate, 6 Member of National Assembly, and 17 Member of County Assemblies. 181 candidates cleared in all those areas. We'll give you more details as soon as we come back. The polls open at 6 a.m. and we mentioned earlier on that it's just slightly over 48 hours. That's about 56 hours and 30 minutes. I know Gatete, this is some... Who wants me to be precise, the professor of mathematics. We'll see you in just a bit. Police launch investigations into the gruesome murder of a 22-year-old student who disappeared a week ago.
Your wealth deserves world-class benefits. Use your Standard Chartered Visa cards to book Qatar Airways flights, Qatar Holidays, or Student Club travel and enjoy collective offers of up to 32% on Qatar Airways. Now's your time for wealth.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, enriched with 95% pure vitamin C and pearl extract for visibly radiant and even-toned skin in just 2 weeks. Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow. Skin is for celebrating my shade of beautiful. Nivea is for skin.
Taki premium, nataka premium original. Hata hii premium iko sawa. Nataka premium original ya Kavagara. Mbona hata mimi anani confuse? Nilitaka premium original na ni ya Kavagara.
Shushu sichukue ingine kama si ya Kavagara.
Aha, hivyo ndivyo kinaumana ukikosa original premium.
Nilitaka premium original na ni ya Kavagara. Kama huna premium original nirudishie pesa yangu. Waumbiria wajue. Premium original ni hii ya Kavagara na ngano ndio hii.
Raha Premium Kavagara, kwa raha ya familia.
Sometimes I need a fragrance to keep me calm, stays fresh in the heat and feels elegant into the night, lasting longer than expensive perfumes. New Downy, lavender calm, sunrise fresh and sweet elegance, freshness that inspires confidence.
Ask what happened, and make sure to tell her not to go see my son ever again.
Fighting is a great offense in the palace. We do not condone it.
Dial *147# anytime to check your status or make another payment.
Pepsodent Herbal, introducing a unique combination of natural ingredients with herbal extracts, salt and mint in an antibacterial formula for fresh breath, strong teeth and healthy gums that protects you and your family. Pepsodent Herbal, every smile matters.
This festive season, experience two worlds of one journey, from the vibrant streets of Kuala Lumpur to the modern charm of Singapore, because the best adventures connect culture, flavors, and moments that live far beyond the holiday. From just $2,200 per person sharing, enjoy 4 nights in Kuala Lumpur and 3 nights in Singapore. A fusion of tradition, culture, and wonder. Celebrate the season in color, culture, and connection. View travel, moments that matter, memories that last.
Well, the best holiday ever's finally over.
When you fly Emirates, your holiday isn't over until your flight is over.
FOMO? We say no more FOMO. Not when you have happy hour. Scroll, stream, post, and play endlessly. It's your time for unlimited fun. Because when you have the happy hour bundle, you can do kila kitu. This is huge. At only 19 bob for 1 hour or 45 bob for 3 hours. All you have to do is download and use my Airtel app or simply dial *544#. Always be in the know. Buy the happy hour bundle today. Now bado tuna grow. Airtel.
Mimi nasema ugali ya Lea haikuwangi complicated. Ukienda kwa duka tu, ukienda kwa super tu, kwa afya bora ya jamii, ungapoa ni Lea tu.
Guys, mwezeni wait?
Bei ya Lea Premium, si complicated. Kupika Lea Premium, si complicated. Unabai, unapika, unashiba. Lea Premium.
Lea Premium Flour, nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
Mimi kama MC natenda ninayoyasema. Nimekuwa kielelezo kwa mara nyingi. Ni sawa, hakuna shida. Awali, haya madoa sugu yangebaki kwenye nguo zangu na kusugua kutotoa nguo zangu rangi. Asante kwa Ariel Liquid mpya, ni nzuri.
Inaondoa madoa sugu na kung'arisha nguo mwosho baada ya mwosho.
Asante, New Ariel Liquid.
New Ariel Liquid kwa mashine za kufulia huondoa madoa sugu kwa mwosho mmoja.
Kupika ni sherehe daily. Pika kama wewe, come choose mix. Pika kama wewe, come choose mix. Pika kama wewe, come choose mix.
Can you grow your wealth anywhere? Standard Chartered's unique global network and deep local insights give you unparalleled expertise anywhere, right now. Now's your time for wealth. Join Priority Banking today.
Nini? Stay away from Chris.
Welcome Naivas Kikwetu to your home this year. Tunasherekea customers wetu Kikwetu kila siku.
Thank you for staying with the Monday Report. Let's stay with the by-elections, and the curtains have come down for the campaigns and they're heading to the polls on Thursday at 6 a.m. Let's cross over now to Mbeere North, where Emmanuel Toy is standing by the latest. Emmanuel, it's good to see you. Good evening. What's the latest from where you are?
Well, thank you very much, Trevor. It is calm before the storm here in Mbeere North constituency, as 55,124 registered voters are expected to go to the polls on Thursday. And as you had already mentioned, and as you had heard from our report, is that the campaigns ended on a high note today with a high-octane politics at play. And of course, we have seen the UDA party being the one on the ground today, led by the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, leading the campaign trail for Newton, or rather Leonard Muriuki Wamudende, who is the candidate for the UDA party, Leonard Muriuki Wamudende, who is actually angling for that position. And of course, we have seen the Deputy President saying that the Mbeere people, Mbeere North registered voters, should not take a gamble with a candidate whom they're going to elect as their next Member of Parliament to take over from the CS for Public Service, that is Geoffrey Ruku, who was appointed into cabinet in April this year. And of course, it boils down to the numbers here, and we have 3 wards that are actually up for grabs, that are being contested for. And this is Ndawa ward with about 18,000 registered voters, Muminji ward with 9,000 voters, and Evurore with 26,000 voters. This means that Evurore ward, which was the main point of focus today for UDA, is the battleground, whereas 26,000 registered voters are there out of the 55,000 that are going to cast their ballots on Thursday. And of course, this is also important to note that Leonard Muriuki Wamudende comes from Ndawa ward, and of course Newton Kariuki Karish of the DP party coming from Muminji, and Evurore, where Duncan Mbui of the Chama Chakazi is where he's coming from. And of course, there are those clan politics that we have heard about. The Democratic Party leader, who is the former CS for Public Service, Justin Muturi, Lenny Kivuti, the former senator, have teamed up against the UDA candidate, but Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, or rather Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, says that they are equal to the task, and they are going to deliver this seat come the 27th of November. And of course, Rigathi Gachagua has been here, and they have been campaigning, saying that they want to ensure that they take this seat to prove that they still have the control of the mountain. Remember, this region has been a bit slippery for the government after the impeachment of Gachagua, and this is a solid test, an acid test for the government to try and see whether they still have the levers of the mountain. And so we'll be here to monitor the activities. We have not seen a lot of activity from the opposition candidates who have actually been campaigning here. They decided to continue with the house-to-house campaigns. And just for the benefit of the voter, if I could just mention this, because we have 9 candidates who have been cleared for this, and that is Njeru Ruben Moreithi of the Alliance for Change Party, Ndwiga Newton Kariuki of the Democratic Party of Kenya, Mbui Duncan Ireri for the Chama cha Kazi, Ngare Daniel Ireri, Kenya Moja Movement, Ngare Albert Muremi, the National Vision Party, Ireri Lawrence Moneki of Safina Party, Njeru Leo Mudende of UDA, the candidate who has been campaigning today, Waiharo Simon Mora of Umoja Maendeleo Party, and of course Moringi Isaac Ngiri of the United Progressive Alliance. So it is a really busy or a long list of candidates that the voters are going to choose from as they start preparing for the votes on Thursday. So that's what we have from here. Trevor, over to you in Nairobi.
Emmanuel told they are speaking to us from Embu Town, which is in Mbeere North. That seat fell vacant after Geoffrey Ruku has assented to the cabinet, and now there are 9 candidates running for that member of the National Assembly. Thanks, Emmanuel. Let's cross over now to Malava, where Melita Oletenges is standing by the latest. Melita, good evening. It's good to see you. What more do we know?
Well, good evening to you, Trevor, from this town, Kakamega town, in the western region of Kenya, where we are following up on the last campaigns by both the opposition and the government in regards to supporting or rallying support for the candidates of their respective camps. Now here, Trevor, we had a race that started with 9 cleared candidates to vie or rather run for this parliamentary position that was left vacant following the passing on of the late MP, that is Malulu Injendi. And out of the 9 candidates that were cleared, Trevor, we had 2 candidates that withdrew their candidacy in support of one, Edgar Busiega of the DCP party, withdrew his candidacy in support for DAPK Seth Panyako. And yesterday we had Manyasi Joab Burudi of the Democratic National Alliance also withdrawing his candidacy in favor of David Ndakwa of UDA party. So that is the latest development in regards to how the political formations have been turning out here in Malava constituency. But most importantly, Trevor, is just to mention the issues that have been arising in the last 3 or 4 or the last week, and this is in regards to what the residents here and politicians have been saying. We had the opposition camp raising questions about what they're saying is an alleged plot to rig the elections, but we had that response from the chairperson of the IEBC, Ethekon Edung, assuring Kenyans and all the people in every particular elective seat that is going to these by-elections that the campaigns will be conducted fairly. And particularly here in Malava, Trevor, we've had a concern from the residents here saying there are issues of voter bribery, and we've also had the opposition fronting this complaint, but we were able to speak to the regional director for ESCC, that is Eric Ngumbi, and he said that ESCC has not received any complaint in terms of voter bribery allegations, and he says that if any will be presented from either camps, then it shall be treated according to the processes and of course investigations open, just to ensure that there are no fears that there will be unfairness, even as both camps head in what looks like now a 2-horse race between Seth Panyako of the DAPK party and David Ndakwa of the UDA party. Two-horse race there, and of course each horse galloping to get to the finishing line first, but all that will be determined as we head to Thursday, where of course now the rubber meets the road, and as they say here, it will be an action omundu humundu. So we are here to keep tabs on what is happening. Of course, Malava constituency is one of the constituencies in Kakamega County. There are 12 constituencies rather here in Kakamega County, and of course we are expecting that we'll get an update also from the IEBC in terms of the materials that have arrived at Malava constituency. That will be coming up tomorrow, and of course we will be updating our viewers as and when it happens. And also, Trevor, it is important to mention the security apparatus here have also appraised us on the security situation earlier on, and they are saying that all is set to ensure that all the polling stations, 198 in total, are manned. We are expecting 94,000 voters or more to actually turn out for this particular by-election. So, Trevor, all eyes on Malava. It is a hotbed of politics here in Western region, and of course the stakes are high considering that this is where we have the DAPK versus Ford Kenya, and you've seen in recent days also, you've seen chaos and things that have not been turning out quite well, but we've also had security agencies responding to that. And earlier we had the opposition brigade led by Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembea, traversing different parts of Malava constituency, and we had the UDA brigade being led by the President's aide Farouk Kibet, as well as PCS Musalia Mudavadi, together with the Deputy Governor of Kakamega, Ayub Savula, leading the whole brigade, also weaving through the constituency, just in a last-minute rush to really rally support for their preferred candidates. So, Trevor, all eyes in Malava, and we are here to update our viewers. Back to you.
Tenges, thanks for that comprehensive update. But just a quick question. There are the candidates that withdrew, but they withdrew after they were already cleared by the IEBC. So their names will still be on the ballot paper, right? Tenges? All right, we'll cross over to Tenges in just a bit. You mentioned earlier on there are 9 candidates competing there, but some of them withdrew last minute after they were cleared by the IBC. Let's cross over to Stephen Leto, standing by in Baringo for the latest. Stephen, good evening. It's good to see you. What more are you learning about the by-election set for Thursday in Baringo? Leto? Leto, what's the latest from where you are?
Good evening, Trevor and Ndungu there. Tell Ndungu that from Kabarnet in Baringo, we are experiencing winter at 17 degrees Celsius. We've just had a rainy evening, but all the 6 candidates say that will not water down their aspirations to succeed the late Senator William Cheptumo as the senator for the great county of Baringo. And what we saw during the day, Vincent Chemitei, the candidate for UDA, putting up a show all the way from Mogotio, Marigat, Kabartonjo, and finally in the evening putting up a last rally to close the campaign period in Kabarnet town. All the other 5 candidates, they chose to do, a door-to-door campaign, choosing to go low-key. We've seen them, from the hilltops of Baringo to the valleys, going through all the households, trying to rally the residents to vote for them. It is for this particular race in Baringo senatorial race, it appears to be a turnout race, a push by the UDA party to have, a big or huge turnout on Thursday's by-election, to have a bragging rights on numbers, because already after the UDA parliament senatorial by-election nomination by the party, we've seen a lot of, efforts to sell a turnout campaign against all the other candidates. Remember, the UDA candidate is now backed by, the ruling party, while the other parties are also really keen to have a protest vote from the Baringo residents. 281,053 voters are expected to turn up on Thursday to elect their next senator after the late Senator William Cheptumo. Even today, the widow of the late senator coming out to campaign for Vincent Chemitei, all the way Gender Cabinet Secretary Anna Cheptumo joining the members of parliament from this region, including members of parliament from Tiati, William Kamket, the member of parliament for Mogotio, Ruben Kiborek, as well as the member of parliament for Eldama Ravine, Musa Sirma, all coming to the campaign trail to make their final submissions to the residents of Baringo. But all the same, the other candidates are also, seeking to have a slice of the vote on Thursday. But at that aside, Trevor, we now see a shift from the campaign period into now election preparedness. We are now seeing the election materials being, organized. We are seeing the security teams coming together. Remember, this is a senatorial by-election, which means it's a whole county of Baringo coming in or turning up on Thursday to participate, all the way from Tiati, Baringo North, Baringo Central, Baringo South, Eldama Ravine, as well as Mogotio constituencies. All will be taking part, and this distribution of the election materials could be a hectic exercise, especially with the terrains going all the way into the parts like Tiati, and that is why that is of keen interest for the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, who from tomorrow will be, conducting that exercise alongside all the returning officers and the election poll officials. And of course, the key issue also is the security, to ensure that all the ballot materials get to their respective destinations, well secured based on the kind of security protocols and regulations stipulations issued by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, of course, in conjunction with the National Police Service. Those are the issues we'll be following up tomorrow and Wednesday to see how ready then the IEBC as well as the National Police Service will be to ensure that the by-election is secured on Thursday. And from, of course, there we also spoke to a few officials running this campaign, saying that they want to ensure that the tallying is done on time and even the election results released on time, so that to ensure that that anxiety is not there and the anxiety is not prolonged. This seat is very key for the UDA party, especially clinching it means a lot, especially being their backyard. Baringo being one of the UDA party's backyard, it wants to, stamp its authority because this will be a litmus test of the numbers that will be turning up from their strongholds in the 2027 general election. And so this may just be more than a by-election for the ruling party UDA, and the context and the contest within that it continues to receive from all the smaller parties that have ganged up together, to seek and to challenge the ruling party UDA in this particular by-election. And so we will continue to, make all the news and ensure that we get to you the most detailed news from Baringo County. This Kabarnet town will be our citadel, where we'll be issuing all the reports from all over. We have all our teams also that we've staged here in Baringo, the vast county, to ensure that, we cover each and every corner and bring to you the voices and the wishes and the decision of the people of Baringo. We have our very own Kimayo, who will be going all the way to the south to ensure that he covers for us Mogotio and Baringo South, as I, of course, take charge of Tiati constituency, Baringo North and Baringo Central, and of course Eldama Ravine. Trevor.
Thank you so much, Stephen Leto. Stephen Leto, they are speaking to us from Baringo, specifically in Kabarnet. Let's now cross over to Ugunja, another seat that fell vacant after the ascension of Honorable Opiyo Wandayi to the cabinet, the energy docket. Laura Otieno is standing by there to give us the latest in Ugunja. Laura, good evening. It's good to see you. What more do we know in terms of preparations for the by-election set for Thursday?
Well, indeed, Trevor, today was the last day of the campaigns, and we saw IEBC also coming in full gear, setting final touches for the preparedness of the Thursday by-election. Like I said earlier, we were crisscrossing various parts of this constituency, and we saw the 10 candidates. All of them were trying to have a last-minute rush to ensure that they garner the most votes come Thursday, where about 60,114 registered voters are expected to exercise their democratic right of electing their new member of parliament. Like you rightfully said, the seat fell vacant after the appointment of Opiyo Wandayi into the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum as the cabinet secretary. And so the race attracted a number of candidates, but only 10 were cleared by the IEBC, and all of them are affiliated to different political parties. And during the campaigns, which were largely peaceful, we saw a lot of them focusing their pledges on bringing development into that region. We even saw one time there was a campaign where all the candidates are gathered at the IEBC constituency office, and they planted a tree pledging that they would be partaking in peaceful campaigns. As of today, we also saw the same. There are different rallies in different places by all the 10 candidates, like I mentioned, all of them trying to convince residents to vote in their favor. But then we also spoke to residents who are saying that they're expressing optimism that the Thursday by-election will cruise by smoothly, and let's listen into some of their sentiments earlier today.
Mimi nasema hivi kama mama wa soko, sisi tunataka imani. Kuna wengine ambao wameshaanza mafurugano vibaya hapa. This time round, mimi kama mama wa soko, saki wenye wanaharibu jina la soko hii Ugunja.
Inasemekana hata kwa Biblia kama viongozi wanang'ang'ana, njia moja ndio inaweza kuwa vizuri, ni njia ya kura. Ndio unaweza pata nayo kiongozi mwenye inastahili kuongoza. Kwa hivyo tunataka uchaguzi ukue free, fair and credible, na pia tutaki dosari.
Hii election sisi iko very well prepared, na sisi kama vijana tuko tayari na tutakuwa security. Sisi ndio watalinda huyu kura chetu, na hakuna mtu watapiga mtu huyu Ugunja. Kwa hivyo sisi tuko tayari, na huyu election tulikuwa ready jana.
Well, indeed, as you hear, residents saying that they are ready to ensure that the by-elections will be largely peaceful. But then we saw the security apparatus also being deployed today at the constituency tallying center, which is at Tambira Boys High School, where we saw, a number of them basically overlooking or checking supervisions on how the election materials are being distributed. We understand that the materials will be distributed to the various polling centers on Wednesday, where the constituency returning officer as well will be having a final press briefing with everybody who's participating in the elections, which are the candidates, of course, members of the Fourth Estate, and even the people who would be acting as agents of the various candidates. So like I mentioned earlier, it's 10 candidates all eyeing the seat of Ugunja, the parliamentary seat in Ugunja, seeking to replace or rather to take over the mantle from Opiyo Wandayi. So of course we'll be bringing our viewers up to speed with the by-election preparations in Ugunja from tomorrow all the way to Thursday. Trevor.
All right, thanks, Laura. Laura Otieno, they are speaking to us live from Ugunja. Let's now cross over to Magarini, where Francis Utalaki is standing by. The latest there as well, where that seat fell vacant of the Supreme Court nullified Harrison Kombe's win in 2022. Francis, good morning, good evening. Rather, it's good to see you. What's the latest from where you are?
Well, many thanks, Trevor, from Magarini here in Kilifi County. We are keeping an eye on the Magarini by-election. Of course, we expect a lot to be happening between now and Thursday. And as I've put it, that this election, this by-election, comes after the Supreme Court nullified the Harry Kombe's win. And now we expect that his main challenger, who then was vying under the UDA ticket, seems jumped to the DCP party, and various leaders have been here, led by Kalonzo Musyoka under the United Opposition, campaigning for the DCP candidate Stanley Kenga, and also the other party that is led by the broad-based arrangement under the government, led by the ODM's deputy party leader, have been pitching camp here for a number of days, as well as the Kilifi governor traversing this large Magarini constituency. And so we'll be waiting to see. But earlier on, we were at the various polling centers, and the just to check on the activities, and the IEBC are saying that their final touches to make sure that all will be welcome on Thursday, urging that voters to turn up in large numbers and make sure that they are able to participate in this by-election. And of course the security apparatus also coming in to make sure that all is well, given the claims that are made by the DCP party leader. And so from tomorrow we'll be moving in to speak to the IEBC, who are expected also to have a media briefing on the status of the elections here at in Magarini, and making sure that everything is running smoothly. But so far everything is running well, and IEBC says that all is well. Come on Thursday, they will be ready for the upcoming by-election. Back to you, Trevor.
Thanks, Utalaki. Francis Utalaki there speaking to us from Magarini, and the rest of the team covering this from the beginning to the end. We already deployed our teams in all the 24 electoral areas, all the 181 candidates set to clinch 1 Senate seat, 6 member of National Assembly seats, and 17 member of County Assembly positions. We'll give you the latest update across board. But for now, we're taking a quick break. When we come back, there's still a lot we need to run you by. There's business news, there's sporting action with Emmanuel Ndungu, and a lot more. So don't go too far.
It's big, it's better, it's the November prize crush only on Citizen Duka. Usipate stress ya shopping this November. Citizen Duka itakupanga. Fanya shopping yako hii November kupitia Citizen Duka uweze experience our November prize crush on different items of your choice. Every shilling saved counts only on Citizen Duka, your home of discounts.
Citizen Duka, the home of discounts.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you. You
new Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
New Downy refill pouches, lasting longer than expensive perfumes. Cut, store, and no need to add water. Serve with a Downy refill.
Wezesha biashara na Absa One account. Sort biz yako with an SME loan. Download the Absa Kenya app, open an Absa One biashara account with 0 monthly fees. Absa, your story matters.
Why do 7 out of 10 kids have cavities, sir? Because whatever this toothpaste has for cavity protection, isn't enough. Double Herbal contains clove. My mother says it contains eugenol, which is 100% effective in cavity protection. Where there's clove, there's no cavity.
Get your value pack today.
The Kenya Medical Training College is pleased to announce its 94th graduation ceremony to be held on Thursday, December 4th, 2025 at Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani from 8 a.m. Ensure you have paid the graduation fee through the Jiunge platform and pick the graduation gown from the college headquarters by 28th November at 5 p.m. The graduation book is available on the KMTC website. Visit www.kmtc.ac.ke for more information on graduation, training programs, intake and application procedures. KMTC, training for better health.
Brian Mbeumo is a professional footballer who plays as an attacking midfielder or forward for Premier League club Manchester United. He represents the Cameroon national team.
The family meets for AFCON 2025. To book your seat, dial *423# to get or stay connected to DSTV Access or GoTV Value live on SuperSport.
Experience Swiss-based education in the heart of Nairobi. With practical hands-on skills, we prepare you for the dynamic world of culinary art and patisserie or international hospitality management. Travel the world and gain global work experience through our international placement network as you shape your career as the next global future leader in hospitality. Welcome to the Boma International Hospitality College. January intake ongoing.
Join our General Overseer, Bishop Dr. Mark Karaoke, and all our apostolic bishops for a grand celebration like no other. From 2nd to 5th December at the ASK Grounds, Nairobi, experience 4 days of power-packed ministry with Bishop Tudor Bismarck, Bishop Joe Imakando, Dr. David Ireland, as we thank God for 55 glorious years. All are welcome.
Teke na Wigo Boda. Chanua Jam, fika on time at the lowest charges in town. Wear helmet and ride in style. Ni safi, ni safe, na ni easy kwa mfuko yako. Wigo, your trusted ride. Download the app now. Ama SMS Wigo to 20425. You'll fike right on time. Wigo, your trusted ride.
Nilipata watoi wangu nikiwa young sana, nilikuwa 16. Sikuwa najua mtoi ananipatiwa food gani. Kitu moja mimi napenda in life, napenda sana kujituma. Na siku moja nikakaa nikadiscover, kumbe naweza ingia kwa mtandao, nifanye ma research zangu na nipike chakula fiti. Ili ni make maka nikajua naweza fanya food yangu pia ikuwe colorful na iko pia tasty, isikuwe too boring, na watu wangu bedhe walikuwa na enjoy. Mtandao ilinisort.
Pata maelezo zaidi kwenye Facebook ya Food Fiti leo. Afya bora huanza na chakula bora.
Is the grass really greener on the other side? Thousands of Kenyans continue to leave the country in search of better opportunities. But for many, that journey comes with hidden risks. Stories of mistreatment and desperate pleas for help are becoming far too common, leaving families back home anxious and heartbroken. It's not all gloom, but the questions remain. This week on Citizen Digital X Spaces, we dive into the Saudi labor question. What protections exist for Kenyans seeking work abroad? And what options do those who find themselves in danger truly have? Join the conversation this Tuesday at 7 p.m. exclusively on Citizen Digital X Spaces, hosted by Claire Munde.
Welcome to the Mangu Gardens Open Weekend on the 29th and the 30th of November 2025.
Mangu Gardens boasts premium serviced eighth and quarter-acre plots located off exit 16 of the Thika Superhighway. You will enjoy graded roads, a perimeter wall with a gatehouse, power and water on site. You get to select your preferred house typology from available options. Plot prices start from 4.5 million shillings. Titles are ready and financing is available from HFC. Text Mangu to 21938 or call us on 0793 888 833.
Come, find out more at the Open Weekend.
Venus unveils confidence that captivates with 5 times more hydration. Venus, inspired by nature, perfected by science.
Wase, mko ready to flip that trend script? With Kenya Mortgage Refinance Company KMRC, your rent can now build your own keja. Get a home loan with a fixed single-digit rate chini ya 10% and repay pole pole for up to 25 years. No more landlord stress, just peace of mind kwa nyumba yako. KMRC home loans are available at leading banks and SACCOs countrywide. Jijenge na KMRC, rent yako, keja yako. Make your rent work for you.
Doing here? Nothing. Luis clearly told you to stay away from the house. You know very well what I want, and I really don't care.
Why are you so nervous? What happened?
I have to go.
Via, please help me.
What I'm about to say is confidential, okay?
Okay.
Nobody can know what you hear from me.
You haven't heard?
She has never gone to visit your son.
Why don't you just go and ask her?
Only one team can see is on DSTV. Put a DSTV decoder for only 850 Kenya shillings. Dial *423# or use the My DSTV app to get the offer.
Welcome back. So the High Court has issued orders stopping demolitions and evictions at Nairobi's Makongeni estate, offering temporary relief to thousands of residents. Affected residents told the court in Nairobi that the evictions have left them vulnerable and exposed to harsh conditions. The evictions began over the weekend as the government moved to initiate the affordable housing plans in the area. And as Brenda Wanga now reports, the orders come as hundreds of residents claim that they were yet to be awarded the compensation packages to enable them relocate.
On the second day of the demolitions and evictions from one of the city's oldest estates, and residents are still rushing to get ahead of the demolition squad and secure and safeguard their property. Some of them caught unprepared when the exercise began Sunday, forced to spend the night in the cold.
Walikuwa wametuambia watatubomolea nyumba tarehe 5. Sasa jana wakakuja, wakaanza kubomoa nyumba, tujajitayarisha, tumelala nje na baridi na watoto. Na tulikuwa tujapata pesa, tukaambiwa tungoje. Sasa hata tunangojea, tumelala nje na baridi na watoto.
Sio vizuri, hatuwezi kusema ati ni vizuri, ati amefanya vizuri. Sisi hapa tulikuwa tunajipanga kutoka. Wakati wanaanza kubomoa, watu wakaanza wakati kuna wale watu kidogo wamepata pesa wameanza kubomoa kutoka, lakini serikali bado watu wanajipanga kutoka. Siku 5 hata haijaisha tangu watu wapate pesa, sasa hivi wamebomolewa.
Those being pushed out of the estate were receiving 150,000 shillings to enable them resettle elsewhere. The money only meant for those listed as the legitimate occupants of the houses that were initially housing Kenya Railway staff. Some of them say they are yet to receive a single cent, yet their accommodation now lies in ruins.
Watu walikuwa wanatembea wanaandika majina la watu, kumbe walikuwa wanatudanganya, wanaandika tu majina ya wenye wanajiita landlords. Na sisi wenye tumekaa hapa hatu kuandikiwa majina, kumbe wanatudanganya, hawajatupatia pesa, wanabomoa nyumba zetu, hatuna mali penye tunaweza kuenda.
But even as the demolitions continued, the Makongeni Residents Association moved to court seeking orders to stop their eviction and the demolition of their houses. They told High Court Judge Charles Mbogo that the government sent officers to their homes on the 21st of this month, disconnected electricity and water before beginning the evictions of more than 8,000 households and an estimated 35,000 residents without notice. These actions, they argued, left their families in darkness and exposed them to harsh conditions, including alleged sexual assault. The judge not only certified the matter urgent, but also ordered that the demolitions and evictions be stopped until the main case is heard on the 4th of December. The court action comes as the residents continued to seek compensation packages from the government and the Kenya Railways pension scheme, the entities carrying out the affordable housing project in Makongeni Estate. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
Now, police in Kirinyaga County are investigating the killing of a 22-year-old college student, Jacqueline Ruguru, who went missing a week ago. Her mutilated body was discovered at a coffee plantation near Gishugu village, shocking residents of the area. Her family's search ended in tragedy when they found her decapitated body, and they are now demanding the immediate arrest of those responsible for a horrific killing. Franklin Wala has the details.
It is one of the latest murder incidents to shock Gishugu residents in Kirinyaga County. The tragic discovery of the badly mutilated body of a 22-year-old college student missing for over a week.
Ni neighbor ya kwangu nyumbani na nipigiwa simu nikaambiwa kuna mwili inaonekana hapo.
The discovery of Jacqueline Ruguru's body, reportedly missing her head, a breast and an arm, has left locals both perplexed and deeply worried.
Huyo msichana amefanywa kitendo kibaya sana. Mpaka akawekerewa accent, ana kichwa kimetolewa, mkono ana, na sisi tumesikia vibaya sana.
The heart-wrenching loss of Jacqueline, a first-year student at Embu College, has shattered her family, who now demand justice for the horrific way she was killed.
Toka shule Sunday. Hiyo Sunday akatokea bila watu huwa anatokea jioni. Akaenda mpaka Kiamutugo vile tulifuatilia tukasikia. Sasa hakurundi. Hiyo siku iliyofuatia Monday, bamba yake akapiga simu ikachukuliwa na mtu mwingine.
When Jacqueline was reported missing, her family filed a report at Kiamatugu police station. Their search tragically ended at a coffee plantation in Ngodho, where her decomposed body was found. Authorities say her killers are still at large.
Na ni msichana mdogo alikuwa university, na tunauliza serikali iendelee kuchunguza.
Meanwhile, in Nairobi, detectives at Parklands police station are investigating the death of 23-year-old Lona Kadhambi Karani, who died after falling from the 4th floor of an apartment in Ngara. Police were called to the scene to collect her body. It is not yet clear whether her death was an accident following a night of partying, or if foul play was involved. 7 of her friends, including her boyfriend who was with her at the time, are currently in custody as police piece together events leading to her death. Franklin Wala, Citizen TV.
Well, it began with an extraordinary claim that rippled across the region. Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni declaring his country owns the Indian Ocean and warning of future conflict if denied access. Now, his remarks ignited confusion, diplomatic unease, and a wave of online ridicule. But over the weekend, President William Ruto stepped in, not to rebuke him, but to defend his counterpart, accusing the media of twisting Museveni's words. So does Uganda truly have any claim to the Indian Ocean? And what does international law actually say about landlocked states and sea access? Brenda Wanga unpacks the controversy.
For a few tense days, the diplomatic waters between Nairobi and Kampala seemed turbulent. The friction between the two East African countries started by a declaration from President Yoweri Museveni that challenged the very geography of East Africa. While campaigning for another term as president in Uganda, the veteran leader didn't just ask for access, he laid claim to the Indian Ocean.
But that ocean belongs to me. Because where is my ocean? I'm entitled to that ocean. In the future, we are going to have wars. The
reaction in Kenya was instant. While Kenyans on social media responded with humor, mocking Uganda's lack of a navy, those in the diplomatic space were less amused, but they too downplayed Museveni's threat of future wars over the port of Mombasa.
Kenya is a responsible member of the international community, so it is in our interest to facilitate any landlocked country that so wishes to use the port of Mombasa or the port of Lamu. We shall not deny any landlocked country that access.
But on a visit to Tororo, Uganda, President William Ruto chose to pour oil on the waters. Standing shoulder to shoulder with Museveni, he dismissed the uproar as a media creation, reframing Museveni's comments as a brotherly misunderstanding.
I know people in the journalist space tried to create an impression that Uganda had said something to the effect that they need to access the sea by all means. Let me assure the naysayers that Uganda and Kenya are brothers and sisters. And we do not have time for negative engagement. Uganda is assured of the access to the sea through Kenya.
As Ruto came to Museveni's defense, his utterances were clear as day.
How can you say that you are in a block of flats, that the compound belongs to only the flats on the ground floor, that the compound belongs to the whole block? So me, I just watch these people. You are really endangering yourself. How can you have a situation like this?
But beyond the diplomatic niceties and political brotherhood lies a simple legal question. Can a landlocked country actually own the ocean? According to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, to which both Kenya and Uganda are signatories, President Museveni's claim of ownership does not hold water. The convention acknowledges that coastal states like Kenya have full sovereignty over their territorial waters. However, Article 123 of the convention gives landlocked states like Uganda the right of access to and from the sea. And international law detects that transit states like Kenya must allow freedom of transit. This weekend, President Museveni clarified that his remarks were meant to highlight regional security concerns and push for a stronger East African political federation. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
Meanwhile, President William Ruto now says that Kenya will follow the footsteps of Malaysia and other Asian tigers in its quest to ascend to economic prosperity. Speaking while hosting Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, the president defended his administration's bold decisions and investment in key sectors to drive growth. Prime Minister Ibrahim, on his part, hailed Kenya as a towering social and economic pillar with the potential of leading the African continent.
And I am very proud that today your country was an agricultural country like Kenya. But today you stand out because you have diversified your economy, and today you export manufactured goods to America and to many other destinations. And I want to tell you, Mr. Prime Minister, we are walking in the footsteps of Malaysia, and we hope to catch up with you soon.
The advantage of visits like this is that you prepare.
You learn, relearn the new ventures, the new initiatives. And I have great belief that Kenya will be one of the stars in Africa.
Kenya's stiff market rules and state-owned companies are holding back growth and jobs, the World Bank warns.
Dad, tap on Jumia app, order what you want, add to cart.
Punguza bei, weka simu ya 15,000.
Confirm. Plus, tunaweza rudisha within 7 days.
Kumbe ni rahisi hivyo.
Ai, ni Jumia bro.
Wow. Download Jumia app today.
Royal Mabati Factory Limited has early Christmas discounts. Deca roofing tiles at 500 a piece and steel trusses at 199 per kg. Enjoy free delivery anywhere in Kenya. Call 0722-638383 or order now at www.royalmabati.com.
On Saturday, December 6, all roads lead to the Great Chepsaita cross-country run, the run for education. This isn't just a race, it's a celebration of endurance, community, and opportunity. We run to support education and open doors for young learners, so lace up, show up, and run for the cause. Join us in Chepsaita, where champions are made.
Wezesha biashara na Absa One account. Sort biz yako with an SME loan. Download the Absa Kenya app, open an Absa One biashara account with 0 monthly fees. Absa, your story matters.
Are you a Kenya government civil servant na uko na emergency? Usijibox kwa noma. Borrowing on MyMobi has never been easier. Simply register, apply, approve, and get your cash in minutes. Dial *531# and get up to 20,000 shillings to sort your emergency and pay from your next payslip. No paperwork, no drama. Ni wewe tu na simu yako. With MyMobi, now you're in control.
Masaa ni ya Safaricom na Shangwe A25. Kila wakati unatumia M-Pesa, ni nafasi moja ya kuingia kwa draw ya kuwa mshindi. Tumia M-Pesa popote ulipo. Lipa na pochi, send money au buy goods or pay bill, upate nafasi ya kuwa mshindi wa milioni 1. Msee, hata kubuy bundles, minutes au kurenew home fiber inaongezea entries kwa draw. Hii ndo sasa form ya kushinda milioni na Shangwe A25. Ukitumia Safaricom unapata nafasi ya kuwa mshindi. The more entries unapata ukitumia any M-Pesa, kutuma au kulipa, unaongeza nafasi ya kuwa mshindi wa daily prizes, free bundles, free minutes au free M-Pesa, au kuwa mmoja wa washindi 25 wa milioni 1. Tumia Safaricom tusherehekee pamoja. Shangwe 25 popote ulipo.
Welcome to Boma Mabati Factory, the winners of 2025 roofing solutions. All our products come with warranty and are kept certified. Be part of our many satisfied customers by visiting us to enjoy great discounts. Boma Mabati Factory, Mabati Poa, near Boma.
Baadaye auntie. Mkuu, umetufikisha home poa. Asante. Pia wewe pata kitu ikufikishe home.
Nunua any 2 80-gram Cadbury Dairy Milk Packs ama Cadbury Drinking Chocolate. Visit Cadbury.Africa uandikie someone special your heartfelt message ya kumshow thanks. T's and C's apply. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone.
Roofs are long-term investment, hence more emphasis should be put in selecting quality and affordable materials for your construction.
This Black November, Kidani Mabati just went crazy. Bei zimeshuka kwa asilimia kubwa, japo quality ni ile ile. Tunakufanyia free delivery hadi kwa site. Tupigie simu kwa 0709 118 300.
Hello.
Yes.
Naongea na Yvonne Wajiku Kangara.
Yes.
Niko na furaha sana kukuambia wewe ndio mshindi wetu wa kwanza. Yes.
Kwa majina naitwa Yvonne Wanjiko Kangara. I'm 20 and I have 2 siblings. I'm the firstborn. I'm currently living in Ngegu, Kiambu. I was super shocked. Yeah, I was super shocked actually. But I'm so grateful and exciting. Yeah, I still had plans ya kurudi shule. Yeah, so I'll go back to school. I wanted to do an assistant nursing and caregiving.
Na kesho kama leo tutakuwa pamoja popote ulipo. Safaricom.
Niko na watoto 3. Wa kwanza Dishon pande ya kukula alisumbua. Shule ya kuli na pia nyumbani ya kuli. Ikafika anajaza chakula kwa mdomo inakuwa maji. Anajaza amizi na pia kukula shida, mtapanda nesters akilishwa akirudi. Kwa nyanyao amepelekwa. Kwa nyanyao kuna wajukuu wengi. Nyanya anapakulia kila mjukuu. Anamwambia ule mtu atakula nitampigia makofi. Unapata ni motivation. Nyanya yake au wajukuu, ndugu yake, kama si hao ingekuwa bado kazi ngumu. Nimekuja kujua effort ni jamii.
Pata maelezo zaidi kwenye Facebook ya Food Fiti leo. Afya bora huanza na chakula bora.
Welcome to the Ngong Hills Open Weekend on the 6th and 7th of December 2025.
Come visit Ngong Hills Prime Commercial Plots just off Kahara Road in Ngong Town. These plots are ideal for investors looking to develop apartments for sale or rent. We have a range of plot sizes with ready titles starting from 7 million shillings for an 1/8 acre with financing available from HFC. We have provided graded roads, drainage, sewer lines, power and water on site. Come find out more at the Open Weekend. Call us on 0769 757 767 or text Ngong to 21938. Ngong Hills. Buy, build and become a landlord.
Kromoka. Yo, Wazimiti. Chrome ina hit miaka kinde. Yani 10 years ya kukromoka. Na wanadai kuchachisha na millionaires ashu. Unashika Chrome yako, unajua ni time ya kukromoka na kushinda mita moja. Nani leo tunashangilia? We're talking over 34 million worth of prizes, 10 millionaires na bado tumeshika gear 5. Wacha ni washow mna kromoka kivipi? Scratch label, tuma code kwa 22110, win prizes daily, weekly, monthly na kustanda chance ya kushinda mita moja. Jishikie boti ya vibe yako. Drip ni PM, ngoma ni FM, gwiji wa content, art ni vibe, mzingwa street. Jishikie boti ya Chrome, scratch label, tuma code kwa 22110. Kromoka. Excessive alcohol consumption is harmful to your health. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18 years. Promotion is licensed by BCLB.
You don't have to show me. I know my way out.
What if she finds out we're lying?
Don't you ever say that again. Her daughter Valeria tried to kill me. You understand?
Ndio sasa fomu ya kushinda milioni na shangwe 25. Ukitumia Safaricom unapata nafasi ya kuwa mshindi popote ulipo.
Business News brought to you by Emirates.
The best holiday ever's finally over.
Thank you!
When you fly Emirates, your holiday isn't over until your flight is over.
Welcome to some business news. Now, Kenya has the most restrictive business environment among its peers. The World Bank warns with the tough regulations and the dominance of state-owned enterprises stifling competition and job creation. Now, this restrictive environment makes it harder for private businesses to enter markets, compete and grow, while government-backed firms often operate with little accountability. Here's Jasmine Wamboi with more.
The World Bank, in collaboration with the Competition Authority, has put out a new report assessing the country's business environment. And despite a decade of economic progress, the country's legal and regulatory environment remains far more restrictive than in advanced economies. Kenya tops the global chart for restrictive business rules with a PMR score of 2.92, far above the average of 2.27 for other middle-income countries. This restrictive framework makes it harder for businesses to enter and compete in the Kenyan market.
When you have more competition, prices go down. And that already is a very important benefit for the Kenyan economy. But equally important is that when prices go down, Kenyans can buy more for their money. And that means more demand for goods and services, which means more demand for jobs, which means more jobs within the economy. We believe that there is immense potential to increase the intensity of competition within Kenya.
A key driver of this market distortions, the World Bank says, is the dominance of over 200 state-owned enterprises in the Kenyan market.
Simply put, Kenya has a lot of state-owned enterprises.
Yet, nearly half of these SOEs failed to meet performance targets in the most recent National Treasury review. Still, they often receive subsidies, bailouts, or below-market financing, giving them a financial advantage over private firms.
Therefore, the recommendation of this report is not necessarily to get rid of SOEs. It's not even necessarily to get rid of all of these subsidies. This is not the 1990s, okay? But rather, it's to allow these SOEs to stand on their own 2 feet when it comes to commercial operations, and ensuring that any support that does go to these SOEs for public service objectives is used solely for those public service objectives through mechanisms such as accounting separation and other ring fencing.
And so I think what government is trying now is, in my view, perhaps it should have been more energetic than it's been, is the difficult question of privatization. Revenues for privatization actually would be substantial in my view, and they'd allow government to actually cover quite a bit.
Additionally, foreign investors face strict ownership limits, tariffs and trade restrictions, further limiting competition. Weak safeguards and policy making also allow undue influence from powerful people and interest groups, creating additional barriers to fair markets. And the World Bank says that tackling these hurdles could be of huge benefit to the economy, creating over 400,000 jobs every year.
Our estimates of the potential for these reforms is that they can boost annual GDP growth rates by 1.4 percentage points. And that is extremely material when you think about how, as Jorge just highlighted, average Kenyan real GDP growth over the last few years has been about 4 to 5%.
The bank maintains that unlocking Kenya's economic potential now hinges on building a fair and competitive marketplace. Jasmine Wambui, Citizen TV.
The Kenya Revenue Authority has today launched the e-Customs app in a robust effort to digitize customs processes and enhance cross-border trade. Speaking at the launch in Busia, KRA Commissioner Dr. Lilian Nyawanda hailed the system, which will reduce the cumulative truck waiting time by up to 1,200 hours daily. Through the application, traders will now save an estimated 750 shillings saving per customs declaration, raising margins, especially for small-scale traders who move between Kenya and Uganda. The application was developed in partnership with the British High Commission as well as Trademark Africa. In 2018, border clearance time was reduced by at least 79% between Uganda and Kenya after the construction of the Busia one-stop border post in an ongoing partnership to improve efficiency for cross-border trade.
E-Customs mobile application will ease cross-border trade and promote a conducive business environment by simplifying customs declaration and modernizing border operations. By enabling paperless and seamless processes, this platform will provide traders with faster, more accessible, and more transparent services.
For Kenya, this means faster clearance times, improved compliance, and stronger integration into regional and global value chains. Importantly, for traders and citizens, it means greater convenience and trust in the systems that support economic growth.
When Busia works well, the region moves with confidence. You do not quite grasp this until you stand at the border itself. So it is here at the ground level that the case for automation becomes obvious.
Recreational activities and outdoor gaming are increasingly becoming a way of life for many Kenyans who look to break away from the daily hustle and bustle. Weekends and holidays particularly are spent outdoors, where individuals and families gather for sport and recreation. To meet this demand, a local entrepreneur is now making giant outdoor games equipment targeting backyard owners, parties, weddings, team buildings and corporate events. Edward Chea tells us more about Morat Games.
This is the cornhole game. We are going to test your precision.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go. You missed? I did it!
At her workshop in Lower Kabete, Vicky Mora displays a range of gaming equipment she has made together with her team. This is Morat Games, a venture she founded to make giant games for recreational purposes.
Morat Games Kenya is a company that makes, sells and hires giant outdoor games. As a result of COVID, people got more indoors and we wanted people to come outside, play, have fun and enjoy each other's company. The need for people to be outside socializing, it is healthy and important for people to interact.
Using locally sourced raw materials such as wood and steel, Morat Games makes a wide range of giant outdoor games, a perfect replacement for what could otherwise be played indoors.
The likes of giant Jenga, the cornhole game, tic-tac-toe, the mini bowling alley, among many others. My favorite product, and for many others it's quite famous in the market, is the giant Jenga. We source the materials locally from our local timber yards. It is taken through a process of aligning the timber. From there we do a process of sanding from a rough grit to a smooth grit, and then it is varnished and ready for the market.
Mora sells her giant outdoor games through digital media and referrals and says everyone who loves games is their target audience.
We target schools, we target hotels and lodges, we target bar and restaurants, we target offices, we target parties, family gatherings, anywhere where you need fun, we are there. We are online mostly. We have our TikTok page and our Instagram page. You can also visit us at our workshop. Our pages are Morat Games Kenya on all social media platforms. We have products from as cheap as 6,500 to around 40,000 thereabouts.
Morat Games remains competitive in the market due to its ability to customize products according to customer needs.
We have really taken time to master our skill. We have over time learned how to make these games sturdy and fit for all kinds of ages. We have mastered customization. We plan to expand. We plan to go international. We plan on going even interiors, because for the games, most of the people who know about them are people in urban areas. We'd love for people even in schools there in the rural areas to have these games and enjoy them.
Edward Chea, Made in Kenya, Citizen TV.